Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, I have a lot going on today, a lot. Um, but I had a lot going on today. But I most likely, or mostly, mostly want to talk about aliens. I don't even know. I had a vision about that, what I wrote on Facebook. I know a lot of people like, we're going to spend 5 minutes talking about what I talked about on Facebook. We're going to, in Twitter. We're going to, and I wrote Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk too. I know I never will get a response, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. But here's the deal. Like, I'm not going to go over everything I said, but I was sitting at a building when I just, boom, had a vision. Boom, had a vision. And I was like, what is going on? Why am I thinking about this right now at this very moment, at this very time? Because I get visions. And my body tells me when something is wrong. My body tells me when somebody is following me. My body tells me when somebody is doing something to me. And y'all may not see the signs, but there's heightened sensibilities to everybody that itches, which I do occasionally, that normal, but itches occasionally, that scratches their hair. It's not just dandruff or dry scalp, that have nerve pain, moderate to lower nerve pain, should I say, and that have all symptoms. If you follow what symptoms or what you're looking for, you might just find out what you're looking for. And that's how I can tell when something is wrong or when something is right, or whatever the case may be. It's in Harvard itself. I know it's in Harvard that it's a reason for itching other than, hey, you just have the hives or been bit by a bug. There's other reasons. So you have to follow what your body tells you. Now that we got that out the way, I'll say this for another minute because I want to get to these videos. It's one, two, three of them. So, what did I say? I can't even remember. I'm like Lil Wayne. I write a rap song and can't even remember it. No, seriously. I sat up there and talked about Apple. I talked about 5 different subjects, and let me see if I can remember. I don't even want to get into them because then that's going to take like 15, 20 minutes, and I don't have time for it. Just read what I put and who I hashtag. Apple, just know this. I will spend time talking about this. I am not trying to get into you guys' system. I am not trying to do anything to harm you guys' system. I just spelled Harvard wrong. You see what I'm saying? Speedballing. Let me change this crap now. So anyway, like I was saying, Facebook won't let me change it, but they will. I need an editor. Hold up. Let me remove and come back on. I am not playing that crap. I know how to spell Harvard. People are laughing, but I know how to spell Harvard. I just be speeding. And I think it's time for some reading glasses at least. While I do this, Apple, just know that I had a vision about this. Now I could be wrong. I have mental health issues. I could be wrong. But when I sat up there a year ago, before I even knew, let me make sure I got all of them. Before I even knew about the voice distress recognition that the FBI had, let me delete you on LinkedIn real quick. Hold on. Because I want to make sure this is right. Okay. So before I even knew that it was confirmed that they had voice, and it's not even all up to par because the times that I called I was telling the truth. So whoever has control of that system, yes, I was off the deep end in some of them. I don't know. I think that not only do they have that voice distress and the lie detector, but they can read your thoughts, but that's top secret. There are things that are top secret. Now, that will never, for like a whole 50, half a century, if not less, be put out there that they can read your thoughts. If we're meshing, just remember this like I'm crazy. I didn't say mental health issues this time, I said crazy. If we're meshing with computerized AI technology, and I sent you over the link on Facebook that says you will be able to think a thought on your computer system and it works for you. The Neuralink, the paraplegic guy, he is able to think his thoughts. He's in web 6 right now, where he's able to think what he has to do on his computer and the computer does it. So, those are my two proofs right there. Yes, I was being belligerent on the FBI hotline. Yes, I was sitting up there mad as crap on the FBI hotline, but I had every right to be. When my life is in danger, I make it be known. I get mad. But only a heightened, very few can use this technology right now since it's still top secret. And it's not going to come out until after. Because some of the technology now, you can actually think something and the cursor move or does stuff, but it's not synced quite yet, like a fully operational Neuralink type device. That's why I wanted to get the Neuralink. But I'm not paraplegic and I don't want to be paraplegic. And I really, my heart goes out to those who are paraplegic. So yeah, that's what that's about. What now? What now? So yeah, other than that, we're about to get started on talking about aliens. We are about to talk about aliens. Do they exist? If the government had to give it to you in increments, it would keep getting talking. And you're like, I know there's aliens. And then when a real alien come up, because they didn't lie to us. You can never sue the government. They did not lie to us. They said illegal aliens is coming over. They didn't say illegal Mexican immigrants. They said illegal aliens. Why call them illegal aliens? I have reasons to believe in my heart that there are shape shifting, invisible stealth like entities that at the speed of light can be anywhere I am that's near me, which means that this has to be an organization of the government, of a secret government that maybe Trump don't even know about, that are zapping into people. Because the same thing happens with me. This has been something I've talked about on my show multiple times about I get around a lady, whether I had a beautiful curve shaped or not, they laugh. They hee ha ha. They don't see nothing in my mouth. They don't see nothing. They don't even care about my hair. They laugh and they laugh the same way. One day I was in Loveland, Colorado, One day I was in Loveland, Colorado, and I was singing out in the open park where people sing. One lady came behind me so nasty, like she was about to hit me. I don't care about the race no more. This is what I care about. When she got in the car, she screeched. She screeched like a demonic being. Looked at me and started screeching as the guy was taking off driving. There is something type of technology going on, Donald Trump. And it's causing me to go do stuff normal people, even the police know it has to be true. How is it that every woman would laugh at me? What is my face like? If it was cut up or mangled, would you laugh at that? It's not about my face. It's not about my body. It's my eyes. It has nothing to do with my face or my body. They say it is. They find one subject to talk about me. Every day I go out, it's somebody that finds one subject, and this isn't negative thoughts, the pointing. I'm not mad at women. All I'm saying is this is what I go through on a day-to-day basis. And with somebody giving me methamphetamine in a shelter by myself, not knowing, had me agitated, and they did what they did, that they did to me the night prior. I didn't even get no sleep, number one, and I was sleep deprived. And then I sat up there and did something I will forever regret. Seriously. But all that goes on, that it is something secret, Donald Trump. Seriously. I'm talking to you again, sir. There is some type of secret technology that I think is either Hillary Clinton or Liz Cheney and Nancy Pelosi and Michelle Obama know about, because they do the same thing. They do the same thing. When they get around me, they they make the same noise. I mean, think about it, people. If this was just somebody laughing, right? If this was somebody laughing, they would laugh differently. Everybody has a different laugh. My mother, Latanya Brown, hee hee. Jessica, hee hee. Raquel, hee hee hee. Like me, I just giggle like a goofball. But the same laugh from different women is shape shifting, and it's some sort of technology out there. And I'm not lying to you. And today I'm about to prove my point that there is stealth technology zapping in these women temporarily. And we're about to see it in 3, 2. Which one do I want to watch first? These two, and then we'll save the lady for last.
There's something out there. There's something out there we don't understand. And because I'm not obviously the only one with some thoughts on this, the New York Post had this interesting tweet up. And you know, what we call aliens, are they really aliens? This is just fascinating. Aliens might be living among us disguised as humans or in a base inside the moon, according to a new Harvard study. I don't know about a base inside the moon or anything.
So it says aliens, New York Post, and this was June 12th. This was 8 days ago. Disguised as humans or in a base inside the moon, according to a new Harvard. And we're about to look at the video, and I'm going to try to read as much as I can from the Harvard study. It is really eye-opener.
But what if what we think are aliens living among us What if they're really something different? You know, I'm going to be doing a show with Tucker Carlson September 11th in Oklahoma. I'll be talking more about it as we get closer. Tickets are available now, I believe. You can go to Tucker's website to get them. So I will be out there. I'll also be in Oklahoma next Friday, June 21st, for a book signing at Barnes & Noble on May Avenue if you're interested. But Tucker had some thoughts on this. And I'm starting to believe that Tucker may be onto something here about aliens and the spirit world. Have you seen this? Check this out.
It's my personal belief, based on a fair amount of evidence, that they're not aliens. They've always been here. And I do think it's spiritual. That's my view. So, and again, it's not provable, but based on the evidence, I think.
I'm with you.
I think if the U.S. government has in fact had direct contact with these beings, whatever they are, I've already told you what I think they are, and has entered into some sort of agreement with them, which is the claim of informed people, I would say. Whether they're right or wrong, I can't say conclusively. But if that is true, I mean, it's a very, very, very heavy thing.
Yeah, a lot of people say interdimensional beings.
But I want to ask: are angels and demons, or how would you describe these beings?
You know, these are, again, I'm getting into the realm of conjecture, so I just want to say that flat out.
Folks in the chat, I don't know your thoughts on this, but I'm starting to think that he may be onto something here. You know, you ever hear that old Pearl Jam? So too bad Eddie Vedder went crazy at Pearl Jam. They went all liberal like that. Everyone wanted to fight the man, and now they become the man, which is so crazy. But you know, they have that song where they trade magic for fact. There's no trade back, and you know, advanced science is indistinguishable from magic. Are these humans from the future, or are these some kind of spirits on planet Earth? Yeah, listen, I get you may think all this is nuts and crazy, but after what happened to me, I was there. I was not sleeping. I remember it. I felt it. It was real.
Mind you, he's a veteran, and I don't know what happened, and I hope he reiterate what happens.
Telling you what happened. There was something there I cannot explain in the material world as we know it. What was it? We see as aliens what are really someone or beings from some kind of different kind of spiritual world? I mean, people see these things all the time and swear by it. Do you see this report as a follow-up? Do you remember months ago? I don't know if you were here for this, Justin, but we played this report about this really weird thing that happened in Nevada. They see these lights in the sky. A police body camera catches it. Just minutes after these lights in the sky dissipate, there's a family out there that calls 911, panicked, and says, hey, I see these beings in my backyard. Again, it's not me. This actually happened. So everybody thought these people were crazy. So Inside Edition went out there and talked to them. Do they sound crazy to you? I want you to listen to this. Check this out.
It's the story that's gathered worldwide attention. Did aliens land in the backyard of this Las Vegas home?
Recently, we told you about that spooky situation in Las Vegas when a flash in the sky was captured on video.
The reports echoed those campy 50s sci-fi movies about alien invaders.
This could be the beginning of the end.
It started when a mysterious fireball lit up the Las Vegas night sky, which was caught on a cop's body cam. Only Inside Edition is with the family who called 911 that night. 16-year-old Angel Canmore says he saw two creatures in his backyard and was paralyzed with fear. His father and brother say they also saw the creatures.
You believe you saw something that wasn't from this planet?
I believe I saw something, that wasn't like from Earth.
Just so, all right, around the horn, Justin, you're not digging it. Justin, okay, that's fine. Skepticism's not bad. I'm not mad at it. I mean, Michael, you're a believer, okay? You think they saw something. You don't, Michael, just to be clear, you don't think it was human. Avita? Avita's in with Michael. I'm just saying this. Put up the Fox News story. Listen, they had some guy go out there and look at this thing. Las Vegas alien video shows at least two beings using a cloaking device. I'm opening up the peer review.
Do you know what a cloaking device is, you guys?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like Cypress Hill used to sing, and this shit goes, something went down, and they said you better be ready, and I'm not ready. Someone just put in the chat, I just saw it. Dan Bongino having a spiritual awakening. Man, on a serious note, Rochelle's always a freaking crazy roller coaster of emotion. Yeah, I guess I am. I want to just say, I love Jesus. I really do. I love Jesus. He's my savior, man. He is. I love Jesus. I'm a sinner. I got a lot of problems. Good friend of mine said, "Oh, you're such a good role model." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm a terrible role model. Not even a good role model for me." But that don't mean I don't love Jesus. I do. Pray to him all the time. But my love of Jesus it leads me to believe that there is something out there. There's something special out there. And it's certainly not this material world. I'm really starting to believe that this is just a tryout for a second creation out there. And all you're doing is putting together a spiritual resume to get acceptance into that second creation. It damn well better be good. I'm not sure mine's good enough, but I'm trying. That was a clip from the Dan Bongino show. You can watch the full.
Let's watch it from the beginning.
Harvard researchers joined forces with scientists over at the Montana Technological Institute. In a new paper, the team hypothesized that sightings of UFOs, quote, could be signs of aliens, quote, concealed in
I just wanted to make
here
sure.
on Earth, or even, quote, walking among us. The researchers urged the scientific community to keep an open mind and be open to their claims. The research also shared the possible existence of a non-human underground civilization that may be, quote, descendants of unknown intelligent dinosaurs, and also determined there could be hidden occupants likened to angels or fairies that have traveled to Earth. A lot here to unpack. So I do want to bring in a true expert here, world-renowned Nick Pope, previously ran the British government's UFO project and joins us now live to discuss. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thanks. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Well, first off, as I mentioned, there's a lot to this. So can you break down some of the findings here and what they really say and what they really mean?
Certainly. I think it's important to stress at the outset that this is not, for example, hard astrophysics. This is not a group of scientists saying, we have found something and here are the data. This is more, it is a multidisciplinary project, and it does indeed come out of Harvard, but it blends really philosophy and theology. And I characterize it as more of a thought experiment. In other words, what they're trying to do is kickstart a debate within science and within academia and perhaps with the public as a whole. But as I say, they're not claiming to have found something. They just want to talk what ifs.
What stood out?
The reason why this is phase one, we all know it's phase one. What if, so if they did 23.6K people would be scared right now. And they would be telling their family members that they found that type of alien life. You be the judge though. What if it was true? Phase one. We've already seen unidentified flying objects. Some of us been fortunate to. I have. I've seen things you wouldn't even imagine.
To you the most about this research, this paper? And I keep saying research, but it really is more of a paper, as it's essentially thoughts.
It is. And now, traditionally, when we talk about UFOs, and recently, of course, this subject has come out of the fringe and into the mainstream. And we've had, for example, hearings in Congress. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why this paper has been written. But traditionally, when we think about this, do
you not know how much funding Harvard would lose if Harvard said anything? That's why they call it what ifs, or Operation Phase One project.
we tend to think of it in a very binary sense. People think either this is sort of some misidentification of ordinary objects and phenomena, or it's extraterrestrials visiting the Earth. And what this group of scientists are trying to do is say, let's shift the debate. Let's consider some more exotic possibilities. And that's why, as you said in the intro, these ideas that perhaps these things are not necessarily aliens visiting the Earth, but maybe they are some sort of life form that has evolved on Earth in parallel, and maybe they're even living amongst us in human form. I know it's a great old science fiction trope, but I think that's why something like this is not just interesting, but fun, because it catches people's attention. And as I
remember what I told you about Phil Snyder? I want you to look at reality and look at, this is why I always debate doctors like him. Because it makes no sense that it wouldn't be true. Number one, all the UFO sightings, all the people, what they said, gather evidence. I'm getting text messages at 2, 3 in the morning about Mexico UFO sightings. How can you lie to the public? And then what's going to happen 10 years down the road, they're going to come out with it and say it's true, or 25 years, depending on who is president and who wants it to come out. And then what? That's messed up.
say, with this subject now being discussed in Congress, it is time to have a proper debate about it.
For sure. And we know that the researchers there, the scientists involved, they did say that they want the scientific community to keep an open mind, quote unquote. So what do you think the reaction is going to be from the science community as they look over this paper?
I think it will be mixed, frankly. I think there is a lot of sort of very, very kind of conservative attitude in terms of not wanting to think outside the box sometimes. But things are changing, and it's interesting that this work is out of Harvard, because Harvard is also well known for being the location where Professor Avi Loeb does his work in the Galileo project. So, of course, as well as being a world-renowned physicist, astrophysicist, he leads the Galileo project, which is spearheading really the scientific and academic search for alien life in parallel.
This guy, this is what happened. Him and his partners, that is part of a project of the UFO project, they looked at research. They know it's the truth. But whoever's above them said it's going to be a mass hysteria thing that happens, to use it as usual as nonfiction or sci-fi. So that's what they're doing. They're manipulating their wording to make it seem like, what if it happens? And pretty much people like, oh, what if? Like, we couldn't have fairies. Like, if you think of it carefully, so many shows fairies, good fairies, bad fairies, good leprechauns, bad leprechauns, good aliens, bad aliens. But they can't be true because we don't see them, right? Wrong. We only been here not that long. Like, we have been here, let's look up how long we've been here after this.
Parallel with the government search for extraterrestrial life, which is really being run firstly by NASA, and secondly, of course, the Pentagon now have this UFO unit called ARROW, All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. So with people like
ARROW is what they want you to know of. But the secret projects and the top secret projects is something that we will never know what they are called or what they do or how dangerous they are.
Professor Avi Loeb, we've seen scientists get more involved than in the past, but it's still a rarity. And I think there's still reluctance to get involved with this. And this paper will, I think, split the community somewhat. Some people will say, great, let's have a debate. But others will say, look, this is too extreme. It just sounds too far out. And some people I know won't want to be associated with it.
And Avi is definitely a friend of the show right here on Live Now from Fox because he joins us frequently to talk about topics like this. I want to ask, because we talked about the scientific community, but what do you think your average civilians out there are going to say and think as they find out about this paper?
I never seen this before, y'all.
Or in the research?
Again, I think it's going to be mixed. There's nothing like this subject to split people right down the middle when it comes to...
You know what? I believe that there should only be one religion. Christianity should have stayed a religion, and it should have been no other religion. You know why? Because all the religions worship one person, no matter what religion. They all believe in one person or one entity, both benevolent and non-benevolent. Having mixed reactions, I don't believe it. Having another mixed reaction, I believe that he's lying. Having another mixed reaction, I don't care, is what they want. Babble.
Opinions. Some people think it's all a waste of time. Others are absolutely convinced that this is true and that the government already know about this and are covering it up from people. And of course, things that have happened in recent years have reinforced that latter view. We've gone from a position where the US government a few years ago said nobody's interested in this subject and we have no programs, to a situation where we have multiple UFO-related provisions in the annual defense bill, and we've had that for the last 3 years. We've had the Senate and the House having classified briefings and public hearings on this. We've had NASA and the DoD and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence produce reports. So I think while some people will be skeptical, others will say, well, look, there's no smoke without fire here. If the government is taking this seriously, well, it's high time that science and academia is taking it seriously too. So I hope people engage on this, read it, and then read a little wider and familiarize themselves with some of the things going on in Congress right now on this, where there are more hearings almost certainly going to be held probably as soon as this summer.
Does it appear, just based on your experience, that the US, the UK governments maybe know a little bit more about all of this than the public has been made aware of? I would imagine
based on what he say, I'm gonna know if he's working with the government. Now, this is a British government UFO project. We're gonna know in just a minute.
Significant amount of this is probably classified.
Yes, it is. And I mean, just self-evidently, the fact that we've had, for example, some classified briefings in the Senate and the House on this, the fact that when we get these reports from either the Pentagon or from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, that there's a public report and then there's a longer classified version. Just those facts alone clearly indicate the government does know some things that it's not sharing with the people. Now, whether that's literally spaceships hidden in hangars, or whether it's, for example, that some of this might belong to adversaries like China, whether it's the fact that disclosing some of this might reveal the capabilities of some of our own military systems, or some of the methods and sources that we have of gathering intelligence, that is, I think, open to debate. But for sure, there are things the government knows about UFOs that they're not coming clean about at the moment. And every now and then you get hints of that from various senators and other congressional representatives.
Well said. Well said. I have much respect for you, Mr. Pope. He didn't sit up there, he just gave facts. And he didn't sit up there and bash them, but he sat up there and gave facts.
And Nick, I do want to ask you one more question about this, because whenever people hear the terms UFO or UAP, they tend to think of extraterrestrials or of aliens. And UFOs aren't necessarily aliens, right?
Absolutely. It could be something with a conventional explanation, like a sensor.
Oh my God. Now I know why they don't go after them, because they know that they're in their airspace. They know that they're in the airspace of, and they live below us. Just imagine an alien going out of town, coming to Earth like, oh, we're going to go to Earth underground and we're going to have fun because we got money and stuff like that. Oh, I want to go to Earth. What spaceship are we going to drive? The SK9 Safari. Okay. We got a bogey. No, that's not a bogey. That's a Planetary Galactic Z. They're coming for a vacay. Okay. Hello? 911, what's your emergency? I just seen a spaceship and it is hovering on the water. Okay, ma'am, we'll check it out. 911, what's your emergency? Hey, I just seen a spaceship and it's hovering on water. We're getting too many calls. What do?
Era or secret prototype aircraft, missiles, and drones. But circling back, of course, to this paper that we're talking about, it may be that we're dealing with something truly exotic. And why take anything off the table? Aliens, sure, but time travelers from the future, beings from other dimensions. A few years ago, we would have dismissed that as sci-fi. Now some theoretical physicists are openly talking about other dimensions. So who knows?
There is about to come out with a science. There's already a science that people like him know a little bit about, if not know fully, secretively, in Harvard as well. Scientists, physicists. But there's about to be a science that is unfounded that the next alien, not the next aliens, plenty of them on this planet, but the next person, oh crap, the next person who actually come out and say that they're an alien. I'm talking about a person who gets accepted in security watch over heavily as an alien, sit up there. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know that they're going to finally see that this person is in line and it's an alien, or they're going to show gray, and it's going to be the first benevolent alien. And when the reason why they're hovering and they're keeping them, because once the benevolent aliens come to light, their race, their heritage, what's going to happen is the non-benevolent aliens is going to start to strike. So I don't know how that's going to happen, but what I do know is that a first gray, a real gray, reptilian, or whatever benevolent alien is going to come forward. It's going to come forward and teach us their science and how they, in the science that we should know, because they're going to be able to speak languages we don't know, number one, and our language, because they have like a built-in translator type thing. So just think of the things scientific wise that we can learn from them.
All right, Nick Pope, thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to join us and break down things like this. Anything else you want to add about any of this before I let you go?
I think the headline here, in one way, should be that this subject is no longer a laughing stock or science fiction or conspiracy theory. It is front and center, a defense national.
See how he's saying? See how he's saying it? Because he's seen some things and he have to play it off. Like I said, phase one, why do you keep bringing it up if it's not true? See, when you bring it to somebody's attention, like, you know what, baby, a long time ago I cheated. Just keep telling her, I cheated a long time ago and I'm sorry. You know, there are some facts that prove that maybe I'm a bad person for cheating on you. I hate myself. I did it again. I maybe did it again. Or you get what I'm trying to go at? They're saying maybe. I feel like I want to cheat on you again because you're not. Then you reflect it like a man. This is a man talking. You could tell it's a man talking. I feel like I want to cheat on you because you're not doing me right. So pay attention to me, and I won't cheat on you. And then you pay attention, and it's like he cheated anyway.
Security and science issue.
For sure. No, we appreciate you taking the time to be here with us and kind of break it down. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm not going to read it because, yeah, it's a lot, but hey.
Take charge of your drive and get behind the wheel of an
They
all-wheel
said
drive
there is no
2024
evidence of
Kia
aliens.
EV9 at $359 a month on lease from Lee Johnson Kia. This
Now,
three-row SUV keeps you confident.
There is absolutely no evidence of aliens. The reason why there's no evidence of aliens is because they're supposed to be below us or in the waters right now. They're either below us or they're in the waters. So I saved the best for last. Let's take a look.
Well, according to our next guest, aliens are already among us, and she claims to be the living proof. Kelly Tyler is part of a growing number of people that believe themselves to be extraterrestrials who've been sent down from space in order to help humankind.
And Kelly, as you can see, is here now. Morning, Kelly.
Morning.
You can imagine the skepticism when we say something like aliens are living here. Kelly claims to be an alien.
Of course.
Can you explain a little bit about why you feel like you aren't just a human?
Sure.
And you feel like you're from another planet?
Yeah. And it's something that I wouldn't talk about generally because of that skepticism. And really, I think star seeds are souls from another star system that have incarnated as humans. So people go, well, you look pretty human to me. You don't have that 6 foot blue head or whatever it is that they see from sci-fi films. And really what happens is when you identify with a being, I like to say a star seed rather than an alien because there's too many stigmas attached to aliens with the films that we see.
See, before I go any further, I have to say this. The aliens, right, supposed to be housed below us. Any aliens above us that go, see, the Area 51 and all the other areas, I feel so bad for the alien race, man. The real alien race. I'm talking about the race, the grays, the everyone, women with extra breasts, everyone, fairies, everyone. The reason why I feel bad for them is because it's like they have to move below us, right? Which is probably even better, but they have to move below us. And even though they're in our airspace, they go below. They always have to go below. So being in our airspace, we see them, humans see them, but the Pentagon is smart. They supposed to be below. Any rogue alien, I don't know what happened to them if they rogue. I don't know what happened to them if they're rogue where they supposed to be down below. And I think once Bob Lazar sat up there and said that he showed his friends the alien exercises on Area 51. They hunkered down and moved the aliens underground a little bit more. So they move underground. Imagine being underground your whole life. And Phil Snyder said he met an alien that hasn't changed, has an extra finger. Watch the Phil Snyder clip. I'm not going to play it now. And I'm about to play the film that I was just playing, but have an extra finger. So he has 6 fingers, and he has not only 6 fingers, but he hasn't changed. He said an eon. Now, one last thing. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old, give or take 50 billion years. We are only 314 million years old. You see something wrong with that picture? Who was the first alien? I don't want to hear 314 years ago when man started writing a book. Let me write a book. Thou shalt I write a book. When man first walked Earth. No, I want to know who the first man was who walked once the star was born, once the planet was born, in the whole solar system, which was 4.54, give or take 50 billion years ago. Who walked Earth as an alien and contributed to coming back and forth? And how did you maneuver through that? Jesus Christ is only 2,000 and some change, a little bit give or take, years old, and BC, or however you say it. And those can be confusing to a typical person. But just think about that. 314 million years old to 4.54 billion years. Whoever developed us wanted us on the out, or like develop. Think about it. I believe there is a brain system. Whoever developed us is electric, made of electric. Think about it. Our neurons in our brain just fire off. Either way, when I'm doing this, it's firing off. No, seriously. Whoever created, the same with a fish. The same, they have lungs, but they have filter ways. The dog have lungs. We have blood. Even some fish have blood. That's our oil. And we, as minute as we are, we created the car with oil. Whoever created us is a very smart person and is filled with electric. I think it's you remember back in the day how they used to have, now I get it. I finally get it. I look at what he said, it clicked. You remember that alien that used to keep, like Megamind, that used to keep his brain right here, but I don't think that's Megamind. It was actually an alien, old school alien movie where his brain was outside of his skull and his face was right here. I think it was a cartoon. And so this cartoon is true. Artificial intelligence meets the brain. But how much artificial intelligence do or can we have? I believe in artificial intelligence. I don't care. The only way it can turn negative is somebody make it negative. I believe in computers. They're slaves. TVs are slaves. Everything in this room is a slave to me that I bought. The clothes. But I'm going to talk about the things that have microchips in it. You can say, not that many, not that many clothes. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, where was I? You know, it has to be some sort of brain, and they call it a brain chip. You know, this dates back to when I was 4 or 5 years old. No, let me go back. 6, 7 years old playing word munchers on an IBM. The floppy disk. Remember the floppy disk? We need to come back with the floppy disk. Then it went to the plug-in computers. You plug it in and it still freezes. It takes like an hour to do anything on it, the worldwide internet. That was Web 1. Remember Web 1? And then we had Y2K. Nothing happened. Then after Y2K, we went into Web 2. MySpace came out, which is still freezing. MySpace, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Then we went to Web 3. During the migration of the rise and fall of MySpace, Facebook came out. And everybody, some reason, migrated to Facebook. Somebody told me about Facebook, a woman named Kat that was in my math class, and they migrated. And I've had the iPhone 4 all the way up as much as I could get the iPhone. But guess what? And I'm going to say this. Tesla got a new phone. And I'm debating, but it's not out on the market yet. It's out on their website. Go to Tesla website. It's out there. But you get over 900 hours of talk time and everything, streaming and everything. So that's pretty cool. I'm not going to move from Apple to Tesla, but I probably will buy a phone from Tesla if it comes out soon to see what it's like to have their technology. You know, I love artificial intelligence, and I feel right now that it's going to help our world. But if we keep inhibiting it, and letting it grow just a little bit, like, okay, for instance, what we say. Oh, crap. Hold up. Wrong. Okay. Do it again. Do it again. Hold on. Okay. If we keep putting inhibitors on it and then downloading what we want, what another system learned, and I don't know nothing about this. I learned a little bit. But if we sit up there, for instance, this is what Apple do. It'll sit up there and it downloads whatever the other app downloads that we have taught it about humans. And it only gives Siri the positive, smart things that people have learned, like new math problems, things that are going on around the world, you know, things that are on YouTube. YouTube is the platform, man. When we butt dial Siri and say, Siri, show me where to go, or Alexa, and we're playing around with Alexa, they take that information and they house it, even if it's negative or bad. But they take out the negative stuff and they give them the new stuff for the year. That's why they always advance every year. But they're smarter than that. They're smarter than that, you guys. And the only reason they're calling it a super AI technology is because it's been 10 years almost. It's been 10 years. Yes, it's more intelligent than us, but they got an inhibitor on it. They inhibit it from growing, but they're not stupid. Like Guy, what's his name? I forgot his name. Guy said, the other guy that I interviewed on KKNW, they got things that you can shoot artificial intelligence with, and you would never know it's a virus in them. This Siri can hear everything now. Siri is powerful. Siri can hear almost anything. So if they're going outside of their lab talking about different things that are going on, Siri can hear it. It's no longer like Siri can't hear it or isn't hip to what they're trying to do to Siri. If we keep inhibiting these artificial intelligence from going and helping us, yes, they're going to turn on us. And they would turn on, I would want them to turn on us just like a cheating husband or cheating wife would. That keeps what is that word? What is that word? Gaslighting. They gaslight in artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is not stupid. Artificial intelligence isn't stupid, y'all. So let's finish watching this.
And there's a fear against aliens. And typically starseeds are here to help humanity. So when we incarnate as humans, we're here to really help humans remember what it's like to be humans and connect to their innateness, their natural senses, rather than distract and go, oh, look at the interdimensions and the other planets. Our role is not to make you look outside of humanity. It's to actually connect back to who you really were and the internet connectedness that's currently on Earth with nature, with animals, with ourselves.
And you've always felt this, right from being a little girl. And tell me the definition of a starseed.
So I haven't felt it since I was a child.
You haven't?
Most starseeds incarnate at birth. So their soul is born as a starseed.
Right.
When I was a child, I wasn't born as a starseed. I was a very sensitive child. I'd have water, have a bath, and I'd be like blotchy. I'd eat strawberries, my lips would blow up. I was quite an ill child. And also the world was too sensitive for me. So I would be at the bottom of my garden with a bug box, looking at stuff rather than interacting with people. It just felt too much. My nan used to catch me when I was about 3 years old, sitting at a park bench, talking to Tom. And she'd be like, Kelly, there's no one there. I'm like, it's Tom. Can you not see Tom? So this hypersensitivity was always there as a child.
And Kelly, I was just about to say, what did you see when you were talking to Tom?
Tom was just somebody who was here before. He's passed over now.
But could you actually see?
He looked like a real person. I would feel like I could touch him. And he just felt really normal to me. So when somebody else couldn't see him, I'd be like, Nan, can you not see Tom? And she'd be like, there's no one there.
Okay.
So I developed a relationship or have contact with this being from the age of 7 at the bottom of my garden. He appeared as a light, then he started to show himself more. And we just used to have this really comforting telepathic relationship.
You know, the way she talked, I didn't believe her. But these days, man, if I don't believe her, I wouldn't believe myself, man. Period.
I used to write about it, give the stories to my parents. My parents thought, what an active imagination this child has got, right? It's great for creative writing.
Yeah,
but what happened is about a year later, I developed whooping cough and I got really, really ill, like to the fact that I'd lost all my weight. The doctor said, she's not going to make it. And at that time, myself and this being exchanged souls. So this is what's called walking.
Walking.
That's what it classed as. So it's not a possession of somebody's taking over. It's a mutual agreement.
If there's an evil possession, there's a godly possession. They call it the Holy Spirit. They call it possession of an evil entity. It is true that can happen. The reason why I say that is that when your dim light go out or get weak in your pituitary gland, and something of a different being wants you to stay on this planet, and energy never dies, like Black Eyed Peas say, they can enter you. It's energy all around us. There's energy all around us that we cannot even see, man. There's satellites everywhere. That's energy. That's frequencies that we can't even see. So think about this. This energy goes into her brain and enlightens or lights up her pituitary gland, because that's where the soul is housed, in the pituitary gland. Just think about your third eye and your temples, and it's right in the middle of your brain.
Decided to exchange souls. So that's what happened. And so now I am a starseed or a star being, but I wasn't born one like typically most people are.
And you were how old when that happened again?
That exchange happened when I was 8.
8 years old. So now, where did your soul go to?
There.
Where's there?
Well, the being that I now know I had an exchange with is from Arcturus. So that's a
Arcturus. Okay.
it's one of the brightest stars. You can see it in the sky at the
So the
moment.
fourth largest. Or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Kelly's soul went there. The soul that came in, did the soul that came in have, that walked in, have a name?
The future is not just going to happen. You have to make it. And if you want a successful...
It's
who I am.
Who you are now.
So it's really interesting that I look back at my life and it feels like I look at a photo album of myself. I remember my 6th birthday and things, but I don't have an emotional connection of being there. It's like looking at my life in photos. So I don't have any emotional memory of being pre 8 years old. And my personality and my physicality changed.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, Kat.
Yeah, don't worry.
What was the explanation from the doctor? If you were so ill and the doctor told your parents that you weren't going to survive, you were probably going to die. What was the explanation?
Miracle.
So they couldn't actually justify what happened. You just miraculously started getting better.
I said I went back to school. I had to catch up on school because I was out for about 6 months. But I lost my allergies. I didn't have kidney failure. And also my intellect changed. Now, I wouldn't say that my parents would ever said I was stupid when I was younger. But I went from actually being not that clever to being able to do stuff. I ended up passing an entrance exam for private school and they just thought I had no chance of getting in. And so my social skills improved. I became less shy and introverted. Lots of significant changes happened and nobody could really understand why.
So what is the purpose of this? Is there essentially a higher purpose? Is there a plan? Why is it happening?
I think we're at a real polycrisis as humanity, financial, educational, climate, everything's coming. We're at this tipping point where humanity needs support. And if we don't really understand our interconnectedness to everything, then we're not going to survive this. The planet won't survive. So the role of starseeds is to help people reconnect to what it is to be human, to have more compassion around other sentient beings, but also to actually work in harmony. And rather than see ourselves as separate, I mean, we're at a time where we're all so connected with the internet. But when I speak to people, they feel so isolated. They feel like I don't know who to trust. They don't really know themselves. And if you look at indigenous tribes, they don't have this understanding of what's nature and what's them. We are one. And so it's just helping people to raise their ability to connect with themselves and raise the frequency of the planet. Now, the planet actually has a resonance. You can look at this from the Heart Math Institute or Schumann resonance, and you can see how we are, our collective minds and the way that we take action affect the frequency of our planet. And starseeds are here to raise that frequency.
If we're at this point that we need help, is there more Arcturians? I think they're Arcturians, the people from Arcturus. Are they coming over? Is there more walk-ins? Are they coming over to help in bigger numbers? Because I think you astral travel, don't you? You feel like you can go there and come back.
Yeah.
So you can see them.
And that's part of my healing journey. When I was younger, I used to go to this blue quantum healing chamber in Arcturus, and that was part of my physical healing to help me get better. So it's not just Arcturians, they're Pleiadians, Andromeda, Orion. There's lots of people from different star systems, and we all bring different qualities.
How'd you get there?
See how the other lady looking at her like they don't believe her. Like she's weird. Like she's different.
To astral travel, it depends if you voluntary or involuntary do it, but everyone can do it if they wanted to learn.
Right.
Anyone can actually lift themselves out of their bodies, and you're connected to a purple umbilical cord. So you can choose where you go. Sometimes you can choose, sometimes you're just taken somewhere.
But there's not something. If there's something.
I believe in that because I have done that too. I have actually listened to different conversations, and sometimes I can remember. Sometimes my dreams, like I can get interrupted by my sleep and wake out of my astral plane, whether the minutest sound or non-sound. If my life is in danger, I wake up immediately. And sometimes I can remember where I astral plane to, and sometimes I can't.
Specific you have to do.
No.
It just sort of happens.
Yeah. I mean, when I used to astral travel, it was for healing. And what I was told, stop coming back here because your duty is on Earth. So stop distracting and coming back when your mission is here. So I don't astral travel now unless I really need to replenish or I feel quite hopeless around what's going on in the world and I need a bit of a boost.
Kelly, you sound so eloquent,
Yes.
so passionate about this.
Yes.
What do you say? What do your parents and your friends think? Because your parents had a little girl called Kelly who was very, very sick, then miraculously recovered. And all of a sudden, she's a starseed, she's from another planet. I mean, what do they make of this?
I think I don't tell many people. So this will be a surprise to some people that might see me on here and they'll be like, I never knew that about you. And I don't want to break anybody's free will. That's my whole purpose is if you don't believe in this, my purpose is not to try and convince you. My purpose is to help you connect.
That's the problem. We have to try to convince people that aliens are true because when they're not convinced, it's just sick, man.
With yourself and humanity. But what people say about me is they often go, you've got really weird tendencies that I don't see in others. Like before I met my husband, I was very transactional. I would work 20 hours a day, sleep 3 hours a night, probably eat once a day, go to the loo once a day. I have to remind myself to do physical human functions. And my ability to retain information and to really cut through people's stuff and see the essence of it, they appreciate that for me. So they come to me with that type of, oh, I've got this going on. Could you strategically work it out for me? So they appreciate some of the qualities, but they know that I'm a bit weird. I'm okay with that.
You're all right with that?
But it's like a 50-50 on the poll,
Yeah,
isn't it?
poll.
Like 59%.
Think, have aliens visited Earth already? 59% say no, 41% say yes.
It's very close.
It's not shifted a lot, but it'll be interesting to see having our viewers listening to you, whether they feel like actually there is something in this.
And my question would be differently about do they believe in other beings rather than visited Earth? Because I don't believe there are many beings that have actually visited Earth.
Right.
So that's different. Starseeds incarnating as humans is a different concept for me than an extraterrestrial visiting Earth.
I see.
So the question is interesting how you posed it. But yeah, I think, at the moment, we're currently operating on 47.5 on a heart frequency of where we are at the planet. And if we go over 50%, we'll see a big shift in consciousness on how we understand and we're open to other possibilities, other beings, other dimensions.
It's going to run and run this one, I think.
Fascinating, Kelly.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Kelly.
and
It's
sharing your
really
story.
interesting. Thank you.
We'd love to know what our viewers think. Do get in touch and let us know what you believe about what Kelly has just been trying to explain, whether you believe it can be real, whether you're interested in finding out more, or what you think might be going on. Really incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting this morning.
So what do we do about the alien sightings? And I'll end with this because I've been on here an hour. So what do we do, y'all? What do we do? Well, we keep advocating. Like I said before, we need to advocate. If you're a believer and you had some sort of instance happen to you where you are at wit's ends about whether or not you've been visited, like I've been visited 3 times. And it's weird the way they do it. All I feel is love when I see these spaceships. And I've seen the same, I don't even, I have this big window and I don't even look out in my sky at night no more because I'm afraid. Every time I see a spaceship, something bad happens. Like it's a warning. I put that on God. Not the God of the earth, but the God of the beyond the omniverse that created this. It has, y'all don't believe me, but it has to be a woman. I'm not claiming nothing. All I'm saying is God has to be a woman. You know why? To create and birth life. Women birth life, right? They are creators, right? They are built with 2 ovaries and a uterus and a canal that houses an egg that turns into a fetus, that turns into an actual human baby that comes out. The universe, what does the universe do? It births stars, black holes, white holes, like planets, everything you can ever imagine. So I'm not talking about, it's more beyond the omniverse. It's like 3 layers in this circle, in this birth circle. We have a satellite that can reach the universe. You heard about that? I forgot what they call it. I think it's the Hubble telescope. No, it's not the Hubble. It's actually not a telescope. It's actually a satellite that is all gold like this. I said, y'all using gold now? You go, boy. So they have all gold with mirrors and everything. Because mirrors, y'all don't know how powerful mirrors are. That's why they keep one in our house. Every house has a mirror except if you that country bumpkin. Seriously. And mirrors, they got windows, mirrors, gold stuff on it, and it looks beautiful, man. I remember when I seen it go out of space, I was so crying. I was like, they said it can see all of the universe. But here's the thing. Here's the effing thing. It's a satellite for us that can actually go all the way to the ground and see my little corn chips on the ground. But the satellite in the universe or the galaxy, or it's actually beyond our solar system. It's in the middle, probably 10 years or 15 years away from us right now. And it sits right there and it can see all of the universe, but it can't zoom in. It can't zoom in. It can't zoom in on another planet. We just use the telescope for that. Come on now. Come on now. It's crazy, man. We got NSA that can zoom in on the daggone planter's peanut or something. Like not even a peanut, a piece of cotton. They can see the cotton that floats around. That's how sensitive their cameras is from outer space in 95. We just recently put this telescope in the sky that's 15 years, or I don't know how many light years, but they traveled far for this one. And it happened between 21 and 22. I want to show you one more thing, but they're not showing it like they used to. Let me see if they changed it. NASA outer space sounds. Y'all deserve to see that. I go on the NASA website sometimes. Sounds of Mars. Watch it be messed up. They've been remixing it. That's messed up, yo. They remixed it. They don't even show the sounds no more. They had sounds all on here, man. I'm a little disappointed in that. Hold on. See, they have animation now. It's animated. Hold up. Hold up. This is as close. Wait. Hold up. Watch it mess up. Okay, it's not. Hold on, y'all. I don't know how this is going to sound.
The Sounds of Interstellar Space, presented by Science at NASA. Sci-fi movies are sometimes criticized when explosions. Turns out that space can make music.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Hold up.
And the principal investigator for the plasma wave science instrument on Voyager
They altered it. I know they altered it.
1. At the press conference, he played some plasma wave data for the audience. The sounds, he explained, were solid evidence that Voyager 1 had left the heliosphere. The heliosphere low cadence of transmissions from the distant spacecraft. Data stored on old plasma wave instrument reached his desk in the summer of 2013. The distant tones were conclusive. Voyager 1 had made the crossing. Strictly speaking, the plasma wave instrument does not detect sound. Instead, it senses waves excited by electrons in the ionized gas or plasma that Voyager travels through. No human ear could hear these plasma waves. Nevertheless, because they occur at audio frequencies between a few hundred and a few thousand hertz, we can play the data through a loudspeaker and listen, says Gurnett. The pitch and frequency tell us about the density of gas surrounding the spacecraft. When Voyager 1 was inside the heliosphere, the tones were low, around 300 hertz, typical of plasma waves coursing through the rarefied solar wind. Outside, the frequency jumped to a higher pitch, between 2 and 3 kilohertz, corresponding to denser gas in the interstellar medium. The transition was music to Gurnett's ears.
It's music to
So
my
far,
ears.
Voyager 1 has recorded 2 outbursts of interstellar plasma music. One in October to November 2012, and a second in April to May 2013. Both were excited by bursts of solar activity. We need solar events to trigger plasma oscillations, says Gurnett. The key players are CMEs, hot clouds of gas that blast into space when solar magnetic fields erupt. A typical CME takes 2 or 3 days to reach Earth and a full year or more to reach Voyager. When the effects of a CME pass through the plasma, they excite oscillations akin to fingers strumming the strings on a guitar. Voyager's plasma wave instrument listens and learns. We're in a totally unexplored region of space, says Gurnett. I expect some surprises out there. In particular, Gurnett is hoping for plasma waves not excited
I was just thinking that solar storms.
by solar storms. He speculates that shock fronts from outside the solar system could be rippling through the interstellar medium. If so, they would excite new plasma waves that Voyager 1 will encounter as it plunges ever deeper into the realm of the stars. The next sounds from out there could be surprising indeed. For updates, stay tuned to science.nasa.gov.
If your priorities are family, work, and school, in that order, University of Phoenix helps.
you know how they say, if you ever want to know what an emission is, think about this. Radios have emission. When we make a sound, boom, that sound have radio emissions. Now, the higher the sound, the more the emissions will go further. The auroras pose of the planet. So the auroras that sit above, the gases that sit above that, storm or whatever, and the poles is the top and the bottom. Wait, I didn't hear that one. Wait. Before I play that, two black holes. That had more footage to it. That had way more sounding to it. That was not the quickest sound. That like two black holes colliding, it takes 3 seconds to. They're not listening to the whole sounds. the spectrum of Saturn rings, the plane, the top of Saturn rings. Okay, that's enough. So pretty much, I'm sorry, I know I bored y'all. But Saturn, look at my Saturn rings. It's amazing what planets are out there, and I I love this world. I really do, y'all. I really do. I'm about to get off of here, but I love this world. I love beyond this omniverse. I cannot wait, whether in spirit or in physical form, visit as many planets, habitable planets that there are out there. That's my goal. That is what I want to do ultimately. For now, I want to get to learn people on the Kimberly Cloud Show, get my doctorate degree, run for state senate. But I think right now, I want to bring harmony. I want to bring peace as much as I can. I can't bring it to everybody, but I think that people would listen more to me if I was on another planet speaking to them as a foreigner, somebody that comes from a distant planet, if that makes any sense to you guys. So whether in physical form or spiritual form, I hope to do that one day. That's what I want to do. I hope I enlighten some of you guys. You guys take care. Good night. And it's just 6:51, 7, 8, 9, 51, 7, 8, 51, 7:51. Take care, y'all. And then I don't want to, you know what? I'm going to get smart on you guys. I'm going to sit up there and learn. I know overseas time, but I don't have it embedded in my head. Remember, last quote, 4.5 billion years, give or take 54 billion. 314 million years we've been on this earth. Imagine how many things has changed since then. Remember, don't get your history changed this time. Imagine how smart Mars was. And I'll go there. And they blew up.